Dealing with a little steamy air back in the Bluegrass State. Straight ahead, I'll show you how the steam may bring some scattered thunderstorms back into the picture.
A man is pinned between two trucks during a morning crash on New Circle Road. What we know about the victim ahead at 4. And the father of a Kentucky teen found in New Mexico after her stepmother was murdered is speaking out about the loss.
This is WKYT News at 4.
Welcome to WKYT News at 4. Amber Philpott reporting summer continues to put in a little overtime across the Bluegrass. Take a look. Here is a live look now at this beautiful sunshine in downtown Lexington. Our warmer temperatures will bring some humidity and rain chances. We want to check in now with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. But before all that, those blue skies are great today.
Yeah, it looks really good again for many of us across the region until you step outside and you notice, oh, it's still toasty out there. We told you summer is kind of endless this year, and it continues to put in some extra work. Mostly sunny skies into most areas this afternoon, but look at some of those cams. You're noticing just a hint of a little more cloud cover this afternoon. Now, if you're out this evening, it's a warm to a mild start with low 80s, but a quick drop into the upper 60s by the time 11 o'clock rolls around. Defender Radar Network dealing with, right on cue, a couple of scattered thunderstorms impacting parts of southern Kentucky, McCreary County, Whitley County, into southern Knox County and parts of Bell County. That's a pretty stout little thunderstorm to the west of Middlesboro. Stronger thunderstorms just across the border into parts of Tennessee. Hour by hour future radar suggests whatever's down there across southeastern Kentucky by 9, 10, 11 o'clock or so this evening will begin to dry up, and then through the remainder of the overnight, not a whole lot of juice left in the tank. That should change, though, as we get into the day tomorrow, as a cold front that is now across the Mississippi Valley gears up and heads toward the Bluegrass State. Hour by hour forecast will track a little increase in some scattered storms around, and we'll look ahead, Amber, toward the all-important weekend forecast here in 15 minutes.
It is important, Chris. Thank you. We now know the victim in a crash on New Circle Road this morning is a local businessman. Lyle Adams is undergoing surgery at UK Hospital after being pinned between two trucks. It happened on the outer loop of New Circle Road near Richmond Road. Lauren Miner has been tracking the story since this morning and has the latest details. It's our top story at 4.
2 people were taken to the hospital this morning after a crash right here on New Circle Road going eastbound. Around rush hour, traffic was bumper to bumper and backed up past Alumni. Lexington police and fire were both on scene. Police tell us a red truck was pulled off to the right-hand shoulder with the driver standing outside the vehicle, possibly fixing a mechanical issue. It was at that time a man driving a gold truck veered off the road, hitting the red truck and pinning the man between the two vehicles. Witnesses on scene managed to pull both men from their vehicles. Police were on scene for close to 3 hours investigating the crash.
We have to get reconstruction investigators here, and then it becomes a scene of analyzing the final rest of the two vehicles involved, and that all comes into where, we're looking for tire marks, we're looking for anything that may have led up to the crash, interviewing witnesses.
The man stuck between the two trucks did suffer serious injuries, but they don't appear to be life-threatening. Reporting in Lexington, Lauren Miner, WKYT.
The man driving the gold vehicle that hit the red truck may have been suffering from a medical condition. That person inside during the time of the accident, but police say the investigation is still ongoing. Today, we are hearing from the father of a Boyle County teen who disappeared after her stepmother was found murdered. Days after Rhonda Oakley was killed, police found Jenna Oakley and her boyfriend, Kenneth Nye, in New Mexico. A criminal complaint shows dispatchers in New Mexico referred to Jenna as the primary suspect of a homicide that happened in Boyle County. Philip Oakley says he has no doubt who killed his wife of almost 3 years, and he's angry. He also said Rhonda was his soulmate.
What people say about Jenna, I don't care. Say, feel however you want about her, I don't care. You grow up and you have children, and you say you've got unconditional love for your children. Well, that's not true. That's not true.
You will hear more from Philip Oakley ahead on WKYT News at 5. The family of a pregnant woman who was murdered in Lexington is still looking for answers. Mariah Coleman was shot and killed on Winburn Drive last week. She was 8 months pregnant. Her unborn baby, named Jacoby, also died. Coleman's family has now set up a tip line and asking anyone with information to come forward. They say you can remain anonymous by calling 859-429-2114. Coleman's mother tells us her visitation will be held from 11 to 1 Saturday. The funeral will follow at Consolidated Baptist Church. We'll have more on the anonymous tip line set up coming up for you on WKYT News at 5. We are working on a number of other stories for you on WKYT starting at 4:30. Sam Dick joins us now from the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Good afternoon, Sam.
Good afternoon, Amber. A Southern Kentucky mother is charged with murder after her toddler was killed in a weekend crash. Jessica Warner was driving on Kentucky 379 in Russell County on Saturday when police say she pulled in front of a truck. The crash sent Warner's daughter, 3-year-old Chloe Fortenberry, to the hospital where she died. Jessica Warner was released from the hospital last night. She's now charged with murder. We'll have more on the case ahead on WKYT News at 6 o'clock. Over 100 people representing various agencies throughout the state are taking part in the Sexual Assault Forensic Evidence Summit, also known as the SAFE Summit. The workshop, named after the SAFE Act of 2016, is being held at the Administration Office of the Courts in Frankfort. Last year, an audit of Kentucky law enforcement departments found over 3,000 kits that had not been tested. With that said, the goal of today's summit is to provide more information to anyone who handles a rape case.
We're going to have cases, cold cases, that we're going to need to follow up on. And in each cold case, there's a victim that has waited far, far too long for justice. So what we want to make sure is that we are ready, that from day one, when we get those results back, if we get a DNA hit, that we are ready to go.
Coming up on WKYT News at 4:30, you'll hear more from Attorney General Beshear on that training. That's a look at some of the news in progress. Amber, back to you.
Sam, thank you. Now to some stories making headlines across the nation at 4. It was a jam-packed day on the campaign trail with one candidate noticeably absent. Hillary Clinton is still taking time off to recover from pneumonia. This while Donald Trump continues to go after Clinton for a controversial comment she made last week. Diane Gallagher has more.
The clock is ticking with just 8 weeks to go until Election Day. And even though Hillary Clinton is taking the day off to recover from pneumonia,
I'm feeling so much better.
The campaign has plenty of big names hitting the trail on her behalf.
I would trust Hillary Clinton with my son's life, and Donald Trump scares me to death.
And taking Donald Trump to task.
Trump's got support from, working folks. Really? This is the guy you want to be championing working people? We cannot afford suddenly to treat this like a reality show.
And while the Trump campaign is wishing Clinton a speedy recovery, it continues to hammer her for calling some Trump supporters a basket of deplorables.
While my opponent slanders you as deplorable and irredeemable, I call you hardworking American patriots who love your country.
That same comment, though, creating controversy, this time for running mate Mike Pence, who met with Republican leadership in Washington today. And he declined to call former KKK leader David Duke deplorable, but he did say,
Donald Trump and I have denounced David Duke repeatedly.
Meanwhile, the children of both campaigns are returning to the trail, with Chelsea speaking in the battleground state of North Carolina and Ivanka helping her father roll out his child care affordability policy in Pennsylvania. In Washington, I'm Diane Gallagher.
North Carolina is still feeling the effects of its controversial bathroom law. The NCAA now plans to pull 7 championship events from the state this year because of the law, which critics say discriminates against the transgender community. Events being relocated include the first 2 rounds of the men's Division I basketball tournament and the women's Division I soccer championships. The NCAA joins the NBA and a number of musicians who have decided to relocate events over that controversial law. Teen clothing store Aeropostale lands a deal to keep 230 stores open. The details for you in WKYT Money Watch. And a trust fund for your pet. We'll take a look at how you can take care of your pet even after you're not around.
Up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Welcome back in. Jeff Bezos has unveiled a heavy lift reusable rocket that is expected to give Elon Musk's SpaceX a run for its money when it comes to commercial space travel. That begins today's Money Watch. Bezos' company, Blue Origin, is designing two versions of the rocket named New Glenn after astronaut John Glenn. He says it's designed to fly humans into space by the end of the decade. Struggling teen clothing retailer Aeropostale has earned a new lease on life. A judge has approved a bankruptcy deal that would allow Aeropostale to keep about 230 of its stores open. Two mall operators, Simon and General Growth, agreed to keep those stores open as part of a $234 million bid for the company. Aeropostale filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in May. At the time, about 800 stores were open. The retailer plans to continue running closing sales at all of its stores, even though some of them will remain open. Instagram users can now block abusive and inappropriate comments. A few weeks ago, Instagram let high-profile users filter specific words from their comments. Now that feature will be available to everyone. Burger King is playing chicken with its customers. Well, sort of. The fast food giant is adding Cheetos to its classic chicken fries for a limited time. Cheetos chicken fries will go on sale tomorrow at participating restaurants. It's not the first time Burger King and Cheetos have teamed up. In June, the chain came out with Mac and Cheetos, basically fried macaroni and cheese poppers with Cheetos signature dust. Well, what do you want to happen with your pets when you no longer can care for them? Lisa Balick looked into ways you can protect your pet, including something called a pet trust.
This is Mischief. His owner set up a trust fund before he died to ensure his 5 cats stayed together in his house. But their health started to fail, so trustees enlisted the help of a cat rescue group looking for one person to adopt all the cats.
Meow Village's part is going to be vetting these people and then going to their homes routinely to make sure the cats are being treated just how we want them to be.
But a pet trust is not for every pet owner.
You'd use a pet trust if you had a larger group of animals or a particular very valuable animal that's going to live a long time.
There are other ways to make sure your animal is cared for if you die first or become disabled.
You sit down and think about, okay, if I don't show up tonight, who should come take care of this animal? And then go talk to that person, provide them with the access.
Using an attorney to put this in your will is one option, or there are do-it-yourself estate planning forms. Another option, the Humane Society. Their Friends Forever program promises to care for your pet and find them a new home if you make a donation through your will. At the very least, make sure someone you want to care for your pet is aware of that and agrees they'll step in. Peace of mind for you and permanent care for your pet. Lisa Balick for CBS News.
And it is certainly something to think about. The Humane Society Friends Forever program varies by state. Animal groups say it's a good idea to carry a pet alert card in your wallet indicating who to call if something happens to you. They also suggest having a pet care list posted in your home that provides information like your pet's habits, food preferences, vet information, and medical care.
The Dixie Swim Club is coming to life at the Carriage House at Belcourt. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about with a preview today.
Showers and thunderstorms across southern Kentucky ready to crank up into parts of the area on Wednesday. I'll show you who has the best chance of seeing a few raindrops when I come back with the hour-by-hour forecast up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
We are dealing with a fair sky across most of central and eastern Kentucky. It actually looks good out there, and you step outside and you realize summer just will not go away. Here we go with a couple of live sky cams taking you to Jackson, southeastern Kentucky, and this time we actually have a little bit of cloud cover to show you. All right, not cloud cover, just some clouds that are showing up in parts of southeastern Kentucky. Here in Lexington, got a few of those out there as well. Overall, though, it's another sunny sky. Temperatures are into the 80s. Humidity's up a little bit. Southern Kentucky, it's up enough to produce at least some scattered showers and some thunderstorms going up into parts of Knox County, into Bell County, into the Whitley City area of McCreary County, parts of Williamsburg. Those really aren't moving a whole heck of a lot, kind of raining themselves out right on top of where they are, and that includes the Pine Knot area of Whitley County. Just to the north of Williamsburg, a little thunderstorm into western Bell County is going by the wayside. Look at the rest of the central and eastern parts of the Bluegrass State, Lexington, Moorhead, nothing going on. Warm high pressure on top of the area. Oh, by the way, that's likely a tropical depression that is firing up just off the coast of Florida right now. That can sometimes impact the weather around here, as it can just kind of slow everything else down. What we're looking at, though, to our west is that we have a cold front that is on the way. That front, by the way, has some cold air. It snowed in the Rocky Mountains last night. Not too atypical for those high elevations in September, but a sign that the seasons are changing. Heading into the day tomorrow with temperatures into the middle 80s, more in the way of steam, threat for a scattered thunderstorm really at any point tomorrow. Better chance into the afternoon. Hour by hour forecast. Let's watch southern Kentucky. Nothing that is out there after the sun goes down. Little cloud cover tomorrow, 7 o'clock in the morning through the rest of the day, with a threat for a shower or a thunderstorm that can go up through 5 o'clock into the afternoon. That's with that weak front. Now, the models today are a little different in that they try to bring that front into northern Kentucky on Thursday. It gives us some slightly cooler and drier air with a lot of low 80s around for Thursday. Then for Thursday night into Friday, we've got a chance for a few upper 50s to show up. That's how we begin a new day that will also feature another cold front that is heading our way as we get closer to the weekend. But if that system off the southeastern seaboard can actually crank up a little bit, you know what that may do? That may slow everything down this weekend. So, yeah, showers and scattered thunderstorms will be around this weekend. It's not going to be a total washout by any means. Just means the chances are certainly increased as we go into Saturday, Sunday. But we'll keep a close eye on that. Right now, let's keep a close eye on live drive traffic. Here's Officer Don.
Police are working a couple of collisions right now, including one at Pimlico and Man O' War. That is a non-injury crash. It has one lane blocked there. So not a big deal getting past it just yet. If we get it cleared in the next few minutes. Drive times for now to Nicholasville still averaging about 12 minutes, to Georgetown 15, and Paris about 19. Now back to you in the studio.
Officer Don, thank you. It is a hilarious and touching comedy about friendships that last forever. Dixie Swim Club is coming to life on stage at the Carriage House this weekend. Deanne Stevens is out and about checking out the show. Hi, Deanne.
Good afternoon, guys. We are here at the Carriage House where Thursday night the Dixie Swim Club comes to life here in this beautiful theater, quite a unique theater. Hallie Brinkerhoff is with us, and she is the director of the Dixie Swim Club. And I love this place. I, of course, have been to the Bell House, but back here it's a little different.
Oh, yes. Very, very different. This used to be where they housed their horses, so hey. But no, this is a very neat little intimate theater, and cool shows go on here, and I hope people will realize that the Dixie Swim Club is probably one of the coolest shows that they're going to see this season. So,
what's the premise of the Dixie Swim Club?
The whole premise has to do with friends, staying friends over 50 years because they trust each other, they love each other, they're loyal to each other, but sometimes they have to have a little truth come out when maybe they don't want that.
And this is all about like 5 women that were on a swim team together, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay, let's watch a scene from the Dixie Swim Club.
Of course I told Trent that I was thrilled about being a grandmother, but I'm not! And you're the only ones who can know it. Oh, I'm just not ready for this. I hadn't planned on being a grandmother for another 5 to 7 years from now. I'm not even 50 yet. It's just too soon. It makes me feel old.
Oh, Cherie, honey, you are old.
What?
I mean, compared to a newborn baby, you're old.
Oh.
Then there was Noah, who lived to be 950, which is really, really old. So compared to him, I guess 49 does seem kind of young. Of course, nobody actually lives to be 950 anymore, so I guess that puts you right back into the old category, doesn't it?
Friends who speak the truth. I love it. It reminds me of a bunch of my own friends. You can check out the Dixie Swim Club opening night, Thursday night here at the Carriage House. Get your tickets at the Lexington Singletary Center for the Arts website. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Back to you guys.
Deanne, thank you. Why realizing you have had a few too many to drink is sometimes harder to figure out. That's ahead in Better Living. Plus, a new urgent warning about secondhand smoke. That's ahead after the break. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $122 million, and tomorrow's Powerball jackpot is $222 million. It is time now for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. A new report suggests the sugar industry played down the hazards of sugar consumption in the 1960s. The report says that instead, the sugar industry pointed to fat and cholesterol as main risk factors for heart disease. Researchers in California say the new findings point to the importance of having medical research free of conflicts of interest. The American Heart Association is urging a zero-tolerance approach when it comes to children and secondhand smoke. Doctors warn cigarette smoke can harm children's heart health, damage blood vessels, and may shorten their life expectancy. Researchers say people's judgment about how drunk they are can be swayed when surrounded by other drinkers. On average, people perceive themselves as less drunk than they actually were. Now, let's head over to Chris for another check of the weather. A simply gorgeous afternoon again out there for us, Chris.
It does look the really good part out there. Summer clinging to the region again as we roll into the middle now of September. Live sky cam, WKYT Weather Garden here in our backyard. Got a little bit of a breeze with temperatures that are into the 80s right now. As expected, a couple of thunderstorms impacting parts of southern and southeastern Kentucky today. Those will begin to dissipate over the next couple of hours. The rest of the area, Danville, Richmond, Moorhead, up into Carlisle, Maysville, Flemingsburg, into Danville and surrounding areas, nothing going on as we go through the evening. But I am tracking two cold fronts into the 7-day forecast when I return to WKYT News at 4:30, and it starts right now.